Stadium at Martin Luther King Jr. Park for today's softball game between the University of Tampa Spartans and your Rollins College Tars. Rollins College and the members of the Sunshine State Conference are committed principles of good sportsmanship. We believe that all student-athletes, coaches, administrators, and spectators should strive to represent the very best spirit and tradition of intercollegiate athletics. We ask you to support the participants and officials in a positive manner at all times. And now let's meet today's starters.
Summer is here early on this 83-degree day here at the Rollins Softball Stadium at Martin Luther King Jr. Park for Game 1 of the conference doubleheader. It's the Tampa Spartans versus the Rollins Tars. Both teams have 10 wins on the season and are off to a great start. Hello everyone, I'm Chris Burns, and joining me in the booth is Seth Cooper. Seth, these two teams played last night with the Tars coming out on top in a controversial rain-shortened game. What factor led to that W?
The factor led into the W was Michelle Frew able to get everything out of her lineup from the 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, and 3 hitters, and of course Ashley Worrell, who improved to 5 and 2 on the season. But it all started, Chris, in the bottom of the third inning. Ashley Worrell doubling to left center, bringing in 2 RBIs with Jordan Davis scoring along with Bree Ernst. And then that just only started the party, Chris. Grace Street homered to left center in the bottom of the fourth, and then Lindsey Gearing followed back in the lineup, homer to left center with an RBI as well in the bottom of the fifth. And that's all it took for the Tars to get this victory, the 4-1. And as we mentioned before, these games are very important with the conference play, and able for Rollins to get the 4-1 victory, a 3-run, that's important.
Well, Leslie Cantor was not happy with the referees last night, with the game ending in the 6th inning with bases loaded and nobody out due to the rain. She was hoping that maybe that they could continue to play, but the refs called the game. And you touched upon the conference. How important is this game, not only because they're neck and neck in the conference, but because it's a conference game?
It's very important because the Tars don't not so have a 500 record against Tampa all time, 48 and 63, but on the bright spot here, Chris, 6 and 4 in their last 10 meetings. Very important as we get set for Tampa and Tars softball after the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back after the beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Seth, it might be day 2 in the rotation, but these starters could be called the aces of their clubs.
They definitely could, and Michaela Dooley, of course, last night pitching. She gets the nod as well, but Abby Summers, the senior, one of Michelle Frew's bread and butter in these conference games, 29 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 runs. 4 of them are earned, 17 walks, but the big thing here, Chris, 48 strikeouts with a .97 ERA, and these games are going to be very important because the Tars, they not necessarily get a break, but some non-conference double headers against Davis and Elkins on Monday. So going to be very important for Rollins to get on, keep their winning ways going. 1-0 in the month of March and 10-3 in the month of February. Still very early on into the softball season, but for the Tars to be successful for these last 2 games in the series, they need Summers to really kind of bolster her way on this early summer day.
Well, we're going to go through the Tampa Spartans lineup. Leading off, Emily Jansen playing first base. Second, Christina Klauberg. Corinne Miner, Sam Worrell, sister of Ashley Worrell. We'll touch upon that later. Lexi Cheval. Now, how do you pronounce that one there? Lexi.
So it's
Chev. I'm not gonna lie. This is Chevalier. That's what it is. There we go. Sorry about that. Bailey Phillips, Maddie Farrell, Mac Dooley, the pitcher, and Steph Ballmer. Playing left field but not batting, Lauren Reyes. And how are the Tars lining up on defense?
Tars lining up on defense in the infield, Contafio, Bryant, Sexton, and Worrell. And in the field, Ernst, Davis, and Harrison, with gearing behind the plate as Abby Summers throws their first pitch.
As we get underway, ball one.
Throws it right into the circle, and it's going to be very important here, Chris, for Abby Summers to get off and get these batters out early. The 48 strikeouts certainly knows that Michelle Fru's counting on her to send down batters early on.
As Jansen falls behind 1-2. And like you mentioned, it is early in the count, and she needs to get in front of these batters. Last time out, Summers had 13 strikeouts. Last time out at home, 13 strikeouts, and took a no-hitter into the 6th inning.
Going to be very key here for Summers to keep her pitch count down as well. May see Grace Street or Ashley Worrell maybe facing her sister in game number 2.
Jansen, the 2-2, fouled straight back right at us. Good thing there's a screen there.
Emily Jansen not in the lineup yesterday for head coach Leslie Cantor's Spartans club.
Clawberg on deck. Swing and a miss. Summers gets the first out via the K.
6 pitches and Summers gets it done. She goes into the circle and gets some congrats from her teammates here. A good start for the Tars.
Christina Clawberg steps in on the right side, like majority of this Tampa team. Only one left-hander of the bunch.
Clawberg 0 for 2 last night, but did get her base percentage up a little bit with her first plate appearance being a walk. And, you know, we touched on, as you mentioned earlier with head coach Leslie Cantor, not very happy about with the bases loaded, nobody out. And that rain did come on quick, and it just kept pouring. And, of course, you take a look, especially down in the downtown Winter Park area, there were lightning strikes as well. And as Keith Pointer and in the field, Robert Hines behind the plate, the umpires for today's duty. Rollins in their white pants, white jerseys with Tars across their chest in blue with blue socks. Meanwhile, Tampa, all black with Tampa in red across the chest and the red on both sleeves.
And the 1-2. And they make it 2 in a row to start the game. Summers has her second strikeout.
Her 50th of the season for the Tars, and not even a month and 3 days into the season, and she's off to a phenomenal last year in a Tar uniform, this being her senior season.
Center fielder Corinne Miner now steps onto the plate. Takes strike one. First time Summers has laid one in there on the first pitch.
Contafio and Worrell in ahead of the bag.
As Miner comes up empty. And speaking of Ashley Worrell over at first base, her sister Sam is on deck.
Long time coming for the Worrell family. The freshman of Ashley Worrell taking on her sister, the senior Sam Worrell, and softball, of course, big in that family.
Summers looking to put Miner away with 3 straight strikeouts to start the game. She'll take high.
It's kind of a wasted pitch there just to see if Miner was going to be able to bite. Of course, she going 0 for 3, but did not strike out yesterday. Summers looking to send her for the first time down to end this series with a K.
And she does. Mark it 51 on the season now. She strikes out the side, and the Tars will come to bat after this.
From the Princeton Review to Condé Nast Traveler, regularly ranks Rollins as one of America's most beautiful college campuses. Zoom in, though. Take, for example, our conference-style learning environment. Consider the dozens of high-end laboratories and collaborative workshops. Drop in on the professional performance venues where our student artists hone their crafts. Stroll by the courts and playing fields where our student athletes develop lifelong leadership skills. Take a closer look at Rollins, and you'll realize our beauty.
Welcome back to the Rollins Sports Network. Keep track of today's stats and follow the play-by-play action live by visiting tarsstats.com. Whether you follow on your computer, tablet, phone, or other mobile devices, tarsstats.com lets you view up-to-the-minute statistical action as it happens on the field. Just visit tarsstats.com. Find today's game in the list of live events, and you're ready to view the latest in-game live stats for Rollins softball.
Leading off for the Tars.
And before we get into the lineup, Seth, how is Tampa looking into the field?
Tampa looks into the field like this. It's Sam Worrell at third. Then going with Seth Ballmer at short. Kahlberg at second. Jansen on at first. And in the field, Reyes, Minor, and Chevalier in right. Jordan Davis leading things off, tied for ninth in steals with 43.
As she shows bunt 2 pitches in a row, this one goes foul.
As that Sam Worrell and Emily Jansen and expecting that bunt, and even the second baseman of Christina Kahlberg in as well. Davis does have speed, and Michelle Frew going with pretty much the same lineup as last night. Davis at in center field, Worrell at first, Gearing behind the plate doing catching duties. Chris Street, Talia Catafio at third, Abby Sexton at second base.
And she lays down a bunt. Tough play for Worrell, and she will beat it out. So right away we get the action from the other sister.
Some small ball, and
number 99, Ashley Worrell.
Bree Ernst, Bryant, and Sarah Harrison rounding out Michelle Frew's lineup for the Tars of game one of 2 games today with the doubleheader. And Dooley, very impressive on the mound. Definitely Leslie Cantor's number 1. She was named preseason All-American and NFCA Player of the Year watch list. 8-1 so far this season with a .75 ERA, fanning 67 in just 55.2 innings of work.
And Ashley Worrell, the first Worrell sister we'll see in the batter's box, pitched phenomenally last night with a runner on first.
13.
Takes outside.
13 hits this season and just her 37th at-bat.
The Tars trying to pick up where they left off last night. After scoring 4 runs in just 6 innings, there goes Davis. The throw down. She's safe.
She got a good jump right there, of course. Not able to get maybe the foot placement there, but still able to just point her left foot, and no chance on the gun there from Farrell. The throw to Kahlberg, and a runner in scoring position on the 2-1. A nice job right there by the Tars assistant coach Steve Vrew, of course, the husband and wife duo of this Tar softball team.
Davis' 11th stolen base on the season. Now Worrell with an early RBI chance as the ball's in the dirt to run it to 3-2.
You take a look there at Clawberg, quickly going over to second base, making sure that Davis wasn't going to take that bag, and Rollins 60 feet away from getting their first run of the ball game.
There's one driven to center field. Minor camps under it. Davis fakes, tagging up, and she'll go back to second. Ball scampers away a little bit, but no advance by Jordan Davis.
You know, she had the hesitation fake, but she probably would have made it with the blunderage out there between the miscommunication between Balmer and Worrell.
Lindsey Gehrig will now come up. The catcher, batting .469 on the season. Second highest average for the Tars. Second to the runner at second base, Jordan Davis. And she takes strike one on the outside corner. Dooley's working pretty quickly.
3 doubles on the year for Gehrig with 15 hits.
There's one hit the opposite field. She came in first, but that gets over her head. And Davis rounds third, and she'll score an early run. And the Tars take an early 1-0 lead off the double of Lindsey Gehrig.
Maybe I should say doubles more often, her 4th of the year, and not sure if that's going to be ruled an error or not on that, as it looked like it should have been Chevalier's
Now batting for the Tars, Grace Street.
Chevalier's ball, but it just goes over her head, and nevertheless, the Tars have taken a 1-0 lead, thanks either to the error by Chevalier or the double by Lindsey Gehrig.
We'll get the official ruling from Spencer in a couple seconds here, but Grace Street steps to the plate, homering last night. She takes ball inside. And that home run coming straight out of the first rain delay that did not end the game.
Very important here for Rollins to get their lead. They're only 3 besides last night. Their 2 losses coming off when they couldn't draw first blood on the scoreboard.
Well, they have done that here today, and 2-2 is the count on Street. And Street on the season batting only .174 with the 1 home run last night. 4 hits as she strikes out, swings and misses. 2 gone in the inning.
Dooley getting her confidence back there for the Spartans. Big for her after she was rattled with the bunt single, as the Tars not afraid to play small ball.
Talia Cantafio will come up with a chance for a 2-out RBI with Lindsey Gehrig standing at second base.
She was smelling that RBI there. Really took a solid hack at that one, but just saw the ball go into the back of the mitt.
That one finds the back of the mitt as well, but a little high.
Abby Sexton on deck, followed by Bree Ernst in the hole if the Tars get there.
The 1-1 swing and a miss. Comes up empty. Cantafio, 12 hits on the season, .353 average, does have 7 RBIs.
We'll see if Dooley comes with a curveball here.
And looked like she did, strike 3. But not before the Tars strike first on 2 hits. They're scoring 1 run, 1 runner left on base. This is the Tar Sports Network. Abby Summers back on the mound for inning number 2. Chris Burns joined by Seth Cooper. And Seth, Tampa's looking to put the ball in play this inning.
They're looking to put the ball in play, but 11 pitches for Abby Summers and all strikeouts. So we'll see if Tampa can kind of turn the page, but
it's funny you mentioned the 11 pitches because she had 2 balls, 9 strikes, and the 2 balls were leadoff, were the first pitches of the first 2 batters. She fell behind, but then fell behind and threw 3 straight strikes.
Getting ahead in the count is definitely Summers' success.
And we finally get to see it here. It happened last night, but it'll happen again. Sam Worrell, the third baseman, sister of Ashley Worrell.
And in case you're wondering, Ashley Worrell won the sister battle yesterday just by another RBI. 2 RBIs for Ashley and only 1 hit. And also Sam striking out last night.
But she struck out with her sister on the mound. So I talked to Coach before, and Michelle Frew said that, Ashley loved it. You got to believe that she loved it. They're both competitive. They both want to win. The count even at 1-1. Takes strike 2.
Robert Hines there really giving what I thought Summers was a gift, maybe a high strike zone from the man behind the plate.
Sam Worrell batting .263 on the season. She takes just low and outside.
Try to just frame that picture perfect, but once again, it looks like it will be Hines calling the high strikes. So we'll just see if it'll be Keith Poirier switching duties with Hines in the second game.
Abby Summers looking to start the game off with 4 straight strikeouts.
Only the second batter that Summers have had to throw 5 or more pitches to. That coming back to Jansen.
Worrell does have 5 strikeouts on the year, but she pops that one up. Cantafio behind the bag is there for out number 1.
Now batting for the Spartans, number 13, Leslie Chevalier.
Chevalier now digging up to the dish here, Chris, and she was one of the bright spots for Tampa, only scoring their only 1 run.
Lexi playing right field today, takes a strike. On the season, batting .289. She does have some power. She has 2 home runs on the season. And she hit 1 last night. Now has 7 RBIs on the season.
Homer to left field.
Abby Summers gets ahead in the count, 1-2. I mean, Summers, she's just pumping in strikes right now.
Quick, not really giving the hitters any time, and really just, she's in sync right now with her catching partner Gearing behind the plate.
The 1-2 swing and a miss. Make it 4 strikeouts for Abby Summers. All striking out swinging. I mean, Tampa's swinging. They're not taking a backwards K. They're just coming up empty.
They are, and you have to take a look too. I mean, that's the way you have to go about Michelle Frew's pitchers. They don't waste any time. They hardly ever waste any pitches as well. So for Tampa to be successful today, they just need to just swing. They cannot afford to look at pitches.
Bailey Phillips steps in for the first time and finds herself ahead in the count, 2-0. Abby Summers looking to battle back. She'll get one there. 2-1 to Phillips. Phillips batting .156 on the season. But it's early in the season, so there's plenty of time to bounce back. She takes one low, and Phillips is ahead 3-1.
Summers with only 17 walks on the season, so it doesn't really give a lot of free passes.
Yeah, compared to her now 52 strikeouts on the season. There's one hit through the right side for a base hit. They'll try her at first base, but she gets there in time. As Harrison tried to catch her sleeping.
The no-hitter is broken, but nevertheless, we'll see if that changes maybe Tampa's mentality of hitting.
Maddie Farrell, the catcher, looking to do what the Tars catcher did, Gehring, in the first inning, got a RBI double. Now trying to do her part for the Spartans. She'll take a strike on the inside corner.
Farrell a pull hitter, so look for Contafio to just inch over to her left a little bit to maybe avoid that base hit and potentially put runners on the corners.
She takes strike two. We mentioned you have to attack Summers, and so far, Farrell's done the exact opposite, taking the first two pitches. Do you expect Summers to go right after her here?
You have to. I mean, with 2 away, 0-2 count.
And she does. Another strikeout. Abby Summers has 5 on the day. You're listening to the Tars Sports Network.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Rollins Athletics would like to thank its premier sponsor, Advent Health. For its support of Rollins Athletics, Advent Health is committed to caring for your whole person health, mind, body, and spirit. Feel your best, play your best, feel whole. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. The Tars look to add to their lead, leading 1-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. Abby Sexton will dig in on the right side. And we got some Kesha. Are you a Kesha fan?
That would be a hard no, Chris Burns.
Oh, I see. I don't know.
A hard no. She did have a couple of other good hits, or some hits here and there, but...
Well, she pops one to the left field. In comes Chevalier. And the Tars have one quick out.
And the reason why Abby Sexton slated into that 5-hole, just a little bit above a 206 average before that at bat, going to drop a little bit. But when needed to, she's able to just poke one right through the hole.
Bree Ernst now comes up, batting 200 on the season.
Interesting shift here for Tampa with the shortstop Ballmer way out of the grass.
Takes strike one as the count evens up 1-1. Ernst still looking for her first extra base hit this season.
See if she can do it here. As you mentioned, pretty much all righties
for both clubs
in this lineup.
There's a fly ball to left field, caught by Reyes. 2 fly ball outs for the Tars.
2 quick ones too. Only 4 pitches, 2 outs. So Dooley liking that better after.
Now, I'm not going to lie, this is probably my favorite walk-up song. Raven Bryant comes to the play, and if you can't hear at home, she plays That's So Raven's theme song.
Now that's a good way of popping the girls, per se, right in the dugout, trying to just get her going. And we talked to her during the media day. Nobody knew about what she was going to pick. And then when we heard it for the first time, it was very, very hilarious of her to do so.
Did you ever watch That's So Raven as a kid?
I did, only because Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was on right after it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe Raven Bryant could get the vision and get a base hit here so the Tars don't go 1, 2, 3.
Sarah Harrison would follow.
Dooley 1 strike away from getting her team back on offense.
That's what she needs. She needed a rebound inning after giving up the double to Gearing and also the single 2 previous at-bats before then.
And she gets it here, striking out Bryant. As we get 3 quick outs for the Tars. The Rollins College Department of Athletics would like to recognize its contributing partners: Advent Health, AdPro Team Sports, Coca-Cola, Jewett Orthopedic Clinic, Seminole Chiropractic Medicine, Hilton Orlando and El Monte Springs, Spectrum Sports Performance, Waterboy Sports, Simple Thought Productions, the Gourmet Sausage Shack of Winter Park, and the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. Thank you all for your support of Rollins Athletics. And speaking of the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting, that's where we both come from, Seth. Just in case anybody's listening, they're wondering who the heck are broadcasting these games.
What a great opportunity is for us to get these games under our belts. A big fan of SSC games, and very important there for Dooley in that last half inning, Chris. Before you read that read, her first strikeout of the game. And you have to think too, fatigue might be a factor here, as she did pitch last night in the loss. She did go 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. They were all earned and 7 strikeouts. So you may have to think maybe Leslie Cantor's a little short in her bullpen as far as arms.
Well, Michelle Frew mentioned that Dooley usually does well against them her first time out. And she mentioned, with just like every other pitcher who goes the second time in the series, the team sees them more, they get more familiar with them. But also something that's always noticeable is that in baseball and in softball, usually when a player does well in the field, they do well in the batter's box. So Dooley, after striking out Bryant, now comes into the batter's box, looking to get something positive going for her club, down 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning.
1 for 3 last night, with also a strikeout as well.
She takes a half-hearted swing there, strike 1. And she has her hands full. I mean, Abby Summers is probably the best pitcher on the Tars, as she flies one out to Sexton, the second baseman. Mac Dooley, 1 away.
And I mean, she's definitely going to be one of those pitchers there. She just hands her lumber right on to Steph Ballmer.
Now, is it lumber or is it she hands her metal bat over?
A metal bat over, that is correct. Lumber, yeah, with spring training back. I mean, we're happy here in the booth that baseball is finally back. We got a little teaser with Rollins softball and baseball in action.
The bunt fouled back there. And are you originally from Florida?
No, I'm from New York. I'm like 3 hours from where you are. So
I'm from New York as well. We're not used to this in February.
No, we're not.
Well, in March, actually. It's already March.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to having snow on the ground until the first week of June, Chris.
Summer lasts 3 weeks up there. As down goes Ballmer via a backwards K for the first time today for Abby Summers. Her 6th strikeout. I mean, we can't even have a full conversation before Abby Summers strikes somebody out.
So it's like they're running the new MLB spring training timer here. I mean, she's got the ball, give or take 6 seconds, and it's already the second strike or the second or third pitch of the at bat.
Well, Jansen getting her second at bat here in the 3rd inning, looks to put the ball in play. Like I mentioned, 6 strikeouts so far.
And they talk about, especially in the MLB, with fans they want to open up the game and improve the game more. Well, you take a look, spring training just started. Only 8 games, Chris, that were really being broadcasted.
So it finds the metal roof over our heads, and I'm not going to lie, I jumped a mile in the air.
Well, before that all happened, you want to talk about interacting with fan engagement. As mentioned, 12 spring training games, only 5 or 4 were broadcasted, but make the games quicker. This is a way to make the games quicker in the MLB.
Contafio dives, can't make the play, in foul ground.
Just off the tip of her glove there, just didn't really get a quick jump on that ball. Reaction time was a bit delayed there, but nevertheless a good effort.
Either way, probably a difficult play to make, whether the jump was there or not. But Abby Summers, 1 strike away from her 7th strikeout, picking up right where she left off last time she was home. The 0-2 to Jansen from Summers. Fouled straight back. Good AB here for Jansen.
Jansen really starting maybe to solve Summers here, as now we're back to the top of the lineup.
Jansen is batting .357 on the season, one of Tampa's best hitters, as she hits another foul ball over to the left side.
She's also not trying to go down either swinging or looking for the second time early on this afternoon.
We are at Rollins Softball Stadium in Martin Luther King Jr. Park here in Winter Park, Florida, on this 83-plus degree day. That one's ripped down the line, but foul. She's putting together a good AB against Summers.
The 11th pitch of the at-bat oncoming.
That's crazy because there are no balls on the count. All strikes.
And they're taking. Like I said, they need to hack away against Summers, and so far, I know they can't hear me up here, but they're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do.
The 0-2 from Summers. Swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts. Gehring throws the ball high in the air as it lands in the pitching circle. The Tars have a 1-0 lead, coming to add to more here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is the Tars Sports Network. The Rollins Department of Athletics would like to thank the Gourmet Sausage Shack for their support as partners for student-athlete development, offering more than just tasty gourmet sausages. The Sausage Shack is committed to fueling our student-athletes with healthy, nutritious food to help them perform at their best, both in competition and in the classroom. Stop by the Sausage Shack today to hear about their healthy menu options, located on the corner of New England and Virginia Avenue in Winter Park. Sausage Shack, good food, fast. As Sarah Harrison, one of the few left-handers for the Tars, steps up to the plate.
111 batting average in that 9th spot. Head coach Frew, normally in her normal 9 spot, but looking just to bring that batting average just a little bit. The infield all in for the batting gloveless, number 2.
I mean, look how far Whirl is in from third base. Basically standing even in front of the pitcher.
That infield, and we'll see if she can poke a base hit to second base.
And she tries to slap one, and she does. Through the left side. Harrison takes back the bunt attempt and hacks away as she gets a 2-strike single to lead things off here in the 3rd as we go up to the top of the lineup. The Tars' best hitter, Jordan Davis.
Like I said, not really a miscommunication as far as in defense positioning, just the way that it was. Head coach Cantor scouted Sarah Harrison, and she did exactly what I thought she was going to do, poke a single right through short and second base.
Infield in again. It'll be called foul as Jordan Davis made contact with it as she left the box. Luckily, one of her feet was still in the box, or else she would have been called out for running into the ball in play. So it counts as strike one. There's strike two.
Well, it was a beauty of a hit from Sarah Anderson. Of course, the softball rules. Thank you to official scorer Spencer there, and a little bit of a research there. He had to even Google it himself. The reason why she was out, extension of the hands on the bat, and she also swung outside the batter's box. You can't do that. That's an out.
She tried to Ichiro Suzuki it, and in softball you cannot do that. So the single's taken off the board, and it's an out number one as Jordan Davis finds herself in a 1-2 hole.
We'll see if the chapter repeats itself. See if Davis can get a single, another stolen base, and Lindsey Gehring in that third spot may get a double to bring home Rollins' second run.
There's a little popper. Klauberg is there. There's out number two. So since that first inning, Dooley has been able to really calm it down. As Ashley Whirl will come up to the plate. And how awesome is this? I mean, I can't stress enough. Her sister's just standing right down the third base line, only 60 feet away.
You can see as soon as she stepped into the bag, they looked at each other. She stepped out of the box, and they both gave smiles. It's what it's all about for the Whirl family.
Michelle Frew said she loves the sisters playing against each other, but she feels bad for the parents. She just says, I wonder who they're rooting for.
Well, one wears Tampa gear, one wears Tars gear. It's that simple.
I asked if they had the split t-shirt with half of it being red, half of it being blue, but I don't think they get that fancy down here at Rollins. Takes a strike. Ashley Whirl not happy about that one.
Steps out of the box and has a couple of words with the home plate umpire, Robert Hines, who, as we mentioned, has that high strike zone call.
As Whirl sends one into left field. And she'll round first and head for second. The throw in. She'll get there standing. Ashley Whirl gets a double with two outs here in the third inning. Lindsey Gehring now comes up in a familiar situation. Last time up, she had a runner at second base, and she drove Davis home. We get a nice reaction from the crowd as Lindsey gets announced.
Only the third hit given up from Dooley so far, and 3 2/3 innings of work.
Outside, ball one. Gehring came in batting .469. The average has ticked up a bit after her hit last time up as she checks her swing 2-0. Leading the Tars in home runs is Gehring with 5. And now 13 RBIs on the season. Dooley wants no part of Gehring with first base open. 3-0.
Interesting, Chris. I don't know if you just saw that, but head coach Michelle Frew, what she did, I don't know if it was a sign maybe for the on deck of Gray Street, but she took her right hand and took her right foot and left hand and just tapped her toe.
We'll have to see what that means. Could it be an itch? Could it be a sign? Seth Cooper is here to find out. Seth joining me in the box. Chris Burns on play-by-play. Seth on color. The payoff pitch with 2 outs, and the runner in scoring position is popped straight up in the air. Farrell and Whirl, camp under it. Whirl makes the play, and the Tars leave a runner on with 1 hit. No runs. You're watching the Tars Sports Network. You're watching game one of the doubleheader scheduled for today. The Rollins Tars taking on the visiting Tampa Spartans. Both teams have 10 wins. It's 1-0 Rollins. As we see Abby Summers' warm-up pitch there, kind of bold to home plate. And before we get into the top of the fourth, the Rollins College Department of Athletics would like to recognize the following sponsors: the Gourmet Sausage Shack of Winter Park, Add Pro Team Sports, and Seminole Chiropractic Medicine. Thank you all for your support of Rollins Athletics. As Christina Klauberg steps up for the second time today. Have you ever been to the Sausage Shack, Seth?
I have not, no.
I have not either. And every time I do a game and I have to read about the Sausage Shack, I always say I'm going to go. So I have to go now. But then again, I always say that. Are you a sausage guy? Do you like?
I am a sausage guy. I have to credit my dad with his grilling skills.
I'm more of a burger
one.
kind of guy, but I'll dabble. We'll go after the second game. How about that?
Whatever floats your boat, Chris.
The one swung on a foul tip. Here in the top of the fourth inning, Summers almost perfect, allowing a single to Bailey Phillips in the second inning. But other than that, she's just been pure dominant. 7 strikeouts. Only 2 players have put the ball in play. Takes ball 2. That one zipping in there.
Tried to get her up high with that changeup. Just couldn't do anything with it, and we'll see if Tampa looks to take him here and get some runners on base via the base on ball department.
With Summers on the mound, it's going to be hard to come by. Like I mentioned, only 17 walks on the season compared to her 53 strikeouts now.
Cantafia with some dirt on her jersey in.
The 2-2 called, strike 3. There's another strikeout for Summers. 3 in a row. Just her second backwards K of the day.
Now batting for the Spartans.
Corinne Miner will come to the plate, batting .231. Has the most ABs on the Spartans.
Miner
39 with 9 hits.
Miner now 0 for 4 within the 2 games against the Tars.
Probably not happy to see Abby Summers on quite a roll today.
You know, I'd honestly like to think the thinking behind last night with the bases loaded and nobody out with the Lightning. I get that. I understand that. But you take a look at perfect game games or collegiate summer games. If there's a big spot like that, I know many a times they would resume the game, especially if the next day or if you were playing a week later.
You're talking about yesterday as the game got called due to rain with bases loaded, down by 3 was Tampa in the 6th inning.
It's a conference game, so it's, I mean, not that non-conference games don't matter, they do matter, but they may not have the label as importance as those conference games do.
That's a very good point. Michelle Frew also touched upon that. Spartans head coach didn't want to comment on it, but Michelle Frew said, everyone forgets we also had 2 more at-bats that game. Mm-hmm. So she says she likes to hope that Worrell got a double play, maybe getting the runner out at home and throwing to first base, then getting the third out any way possible and escaping the jam. But she said even if they did score some runs, they still had 2 more at-bats to score any more runs. So the payoff pitch just jammed her inside. She's lucky to make contact. It's Miner. So what are your thoughts after hearing Michelle Frew's response?
Well, I mean, even if they didn't get anything and Tampa was able to kind of go around the horn on the base pass and tie the ball game or make it maybe a 4-3 game, still, Rollins now looks at that a different way. And you have to take a look at this, too. If it was a 4-3 game, you go back to the game that went into extra innings a couple weeks ago with Rollins able to get 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to walk away with the victory. Who knows? Maybe that does change the way that maybe Abby Summers pitches today or the way that Michelle Frew's lineup was constructed, but shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Exactly. As Miner strikes out for the second time today. There's a fly ball into short left field. Running over, diving play by Bryant, but she can't hold on. as it's ruled a foul ball. That would have been some play.
Would have been some play for sure.
8 strikeouts now for Summers, and she's been the story of the game. The 0-1 fouled straight back. Sam Worrell, sister of Ashley Worrell, over at first base for the Tars. Has 1 double and 2 home runs on the season, so she's got some pop. As she hits one over to left field. Coming on in foul territory is Ernst. And the Tars retire the side. And once again, the Spartans go 1-2-3. You're listening to the Tars Sports Network. Welcome back to the Tars Sports Network here in the bottom of the 4th inning as we'll get Street, Contafio, and Sexton here in this inning. And I saw, Seth, you were checking out Instagram during break. Any interesting things happening over there?
I think, back home we have a South High Marathon dance, which is 28 hours, and we have recipients as well with people in need. It's been going on for I think it's 40, maybe 42 years now. $831,000 donated yesterday.
Wow.
Unfortunately, with me being here at Full Sail University and not having a spring break, Chris was unable to get there, but still very cool to follow along on it.
That is amazing. Over $800,000 donated. What's the cause for?
It's for recipients in need. I mean, anything between people that have life-threatening diseases to, needing something for whatever. There's a bunt right down there. Some miscommunication. The throw is in time. Sorry to steal your thunder there, Mr. Burns.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
But what a play right there by the catcher of Farrell, able to throw one onto Jansen, and now a little meeting of the minds between the Rollins dugout there, just to confirm between Keith and Robert, the home and first plate umpires.
And the first out, Grace Street lined out to center field minor on the catch. And believe it or not, second out in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's our first ground out of the game.
Abby Sexton.
Wow, that for
either team.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've been all flyouts or strikeouts.
As there's one ripped into left field. That'll get down and roll to the wall. Sexton heads to second, but she holds at first. Sexton with a 2-out hit. Good rebound there after her second at-bat, getting the 7 pitches in the previous at-bat, then swinging on the first pitch and able to pull that to the left field, and no chance for Reyes. Bree Ernst with a runner on first base. Takes strike one. Interesting to see if Abby Sexton, don't think she's going to go with 2 away here, but maybe throw Dooley off her game with a little cat and mouse. Sexton still looking for her first stolen base on the season. Has been caught once. Looking to go an even 50-50 there. The 1-1. Low and outside. Sexton stays put. 2-1 on the count for Bree Ernst. Tars have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the fourth, looking for more. As she pops one up inside the infield, Balmer is there to retire the side, and this game is going by quick. Get connected with Rollins Athletics. Visit the new and improved RollinsSports.com for the latest news and information, and check out the Tars Sports Network for live video and audio broadcasts, as well as on-demand content.
For the Tars in the fourth, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base for the Tars. And we'll stay right here. The story of the game so far, Seth, has been the pitching, and we mentioned that before the game started.
Oh, you take a look. I mean, Michelle Frew really throwing her ace. You can't mess around in these conference games. And Rollins, even though it is March 2nd, still looking to stay undefeated in St. Patrick's Day month.
Abby Summers out for her 5th inning of work. And I know we've said it 1,000 times, but we can't stress this enough. She is pitching lights out yet again. Her ERA is under 1 on the season, and with every passing inning, it just gets lower and lower. She's looking like Jacob deGrom out there.
I was just thinking that too. I know that.
But she's actually better than Jacob deGrom.
And while you were giving
leading off the inning for the
that
Spartans,
read there,
number 13,
Michelle
Lexi
and
Chevalier.
Steve Frew talking about whether they want to keep Summers in, top of the 5th inning. I don't know if she will pitch game 2 or if it will be senior Grace Street getting the nod in the circle. But infield in now.
Chevalier will come up to the plate. Struck out just like so many others in her first at-bat as she swings and misses. Strike 1.
Phillips on deck, and the only hit that Tampa's had so far. And that came back, believe it or not, Chris, in the first inning.
Wow. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Chevalier in trouble. Each inning, Summers has struck out at least 2 batters. Well, she starts it on this inning off with a strikeout. Swing and a miss. 10 already on the day here in the 5th inning.
And if there is any light to these Tampa strikeouts, it's that they're hacking away. There's only 2 strikeouts that the Spartans have been looking at, so just cannot solve the Rubik's Cube, which is Summers.
Bailey takes one inside for a strike 1. Bailey Phillips with the only hit so far today for the Spartans. The designated player pops one foul. Worrell jogs after it, but it was too far away for anyone to make a play. Now 0-2.
You know, you might as well, Chris, pull out the VHS tape and just press rewind and play. Every other inning, it's 2 strikeouts, 1 strikeout, 6 pitches, 7 pitches, 3 up, 3 down for Summers. Very impressive so far.
I mean, we're gonna have to wipe off the dust if we're breaking out the VHS tape. Fouled back. We can't just, drag the slider drag the slider back. You had to go all the way back to VHS, old school.
Had to go all the way back to VHS. DVD players, I don't even know if they're still a thing with all the streaming.
I got a Blu-ray player at home.
My brother-in-law is a huge movie collector.
That one's fouled back right over our heads. Good AB by Bailey Phillips.
6th pitch oncoming to Summers. From Summers to Phillips.
I'm a big movie guy. I'm a Netflix guy, but I also have a bunch of DVDs. So I got a Blu-ray player that can play DVDs, so it's not gone just yet. As Phillips in a 1-2 count.
And in these later innings, it'll be interesting to see what Cantor decides to do.
Fouled back as it strikes the metal. Phillips from Jupiter, Florida, along with a lot of Tampa Spartans that call Florida their home. The crowd is pretty big today.
a couple of Northeasterns with New Jersey on their roster as well, and kind of a stretch, but maybe Delaware.
The 1-2, called strike 3, right down the middle. Another backwards K for Summers.
A nasty pitch right there from Summers, really bringing the heat on early in March 2nd. Just nothing that Phillips can do but just look at that into the glove of Goering, and she didn't even turn back to the home plate umpire of Robert Hines to make sure that that was going to be called another way.
It just seems like everything out of Summers' hand is a strike at this point. Maddie Farrell, the catcher, who's been pretty busy behind the plate. There's been a couple pop-ups behind the plate. Last time up, I mean, do I even have to say it?
Strikeout.
Yeah.
There you go. I got that one for you there. But I will say, every position in softball seems to work, especially in baseball. You got a lot of you have a lot of downtime in baseball, but so far, everyone today has at least seen some sort of action with the ball, whether that's in the infield or the outfield, or more importantly, the pitcher and catcher.
Summers getting squeezed a little bit here. 3-0.
Only the second 3-0 batter that she's given 3 balls to so far, coming back in the 3rd inning.
As we mentioned, only 17 walks on the season. And there's one right there. Second runner to reach base on Summers. First one since the 2nd inning.
Now we'll see if Dooley can help her own cause here, but it looks like Cantor going out to talk to potentially make a substitution.
Going to get a pinch runner. Number 10 will come on and run.
Good trying for the Spartans. Number 10,
Brianna Taphouse.
Taphouse, the Glendale, New York native.
Oh, yeah. There we go. It's about time we got someone from New York in this game. Let's see what. We're both from New York. We're calling.
This is probably one of the biggest spots here for Michaela Dooley here, just to see, once again, if she can help her own cause.
It's 5 straight balls by Summers. I know people at home probably thinking, if you're just tuning in, really a runner on first base with 2 outs is the biggest spot of the game? No, that's literally what it's been. It's been everybody getting out via the strikeout. No one reaching base besides Phillips in the 2nd inning. That was also with 2 outs. So to this point, this is the most pressure they've had on Summers.
I mean, it's even like the Super Bowl when you had Jim Nance, even with punts. I mean, he got excited and had inflection in his voice over punts, and now we're gonna have a meeting at the circle here with
6 straight balls from Summers. So Mr. Frew is probably out there just telling her to just relax. I don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen. I think she'll. Actually, I take that back. Grace Street is warming up in the pen.
Yeah, we'll see if Grace Street can. Maybe she'll come in for another 1 inning and 2 innings. I doubt that.
But
I shouldn't say I doubt, because I mean, I don't really know. But I don't see Ashley Worrell maybe pitching game 2, especially with yesterday. But baseball is a lot different than softball. That's for sure.
I know these women are tougher than baseball players, I think.
They are.
As she gets hit by the pitch on the bounce. As that's 2 runners reach base via the walk and now the hit by pitch. And that's 7 straight balls for Summers, who seemed unhittable. So after striking out the first 2 batters, Steph Ballmer now comes to the plate with runners at first and second. A chance to tie the game for the Spartans.
Now here's where you make your mark as a freshman. Batting only .216. You knock a base hit through Contafio and Bryant at short. Get that runner in, and the freshman could make a statement. But so far, Summers trying to not make that happen.
Ballmer from Tampa, Florida, has a chance to tie the game. She takes strike 2. As Summers battles back after not being able to find the zone for 7 straight pitches, she lays 2 in there. 2 called strikes there.
Jansen on deck if the Spartans do get there. Summers looking for another strikeout to her impressive 7+.
Jansen on deck hitting .357, so you certainly don't want to see her up this inning if you're a Tars fan or if you're Abby Summers, as we get a little visit from Gearing. 1-2.
Actually, it's Leslie Cantor who called time to talk with Stephanie Ballmer. The best thing for her going now is the 8 doubles she's got to the year. She's an extra base hit hitter. She can get one maybe deep past the left fielder of Ernst, maybe score 2 and celebrate on the second base bag.
We will see right here the 1-2. Inside, ball 2. As the shortstop battles back.
Crowd really didn't like Robert Ernst's call behind the plate, but his strike zone has been quite an interesting strike zone all hour long. I was about to say afternoon, but this game going by quick.
Well, the 2s are wild here. I was going to say 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on, but now the count goes to 3-2, and
it's like dealing a wild card in Uno, as Summers and so did the entire Tars infield thought that was a strike, but now you load the bases for one of Spartans' best hitters potentially coming up.
Well, the payoff pitch will have to wait as Summers goes back, grabs the rosin bag and drops it. The action pitch. Swung on and fouled back.
To say it's a sunny sky here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park, but could become awful cloudy in that Tars dugout.
The 5'10 freshman hanging in there against the senior Abby Summers. Called strike 3 as Summers escapes the jam, leaving 2 runners on. They both reach base on a walk and a hit by pitch, but Summers striking out 3 in the inning to escape trouble, and the Tars look to add to their lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. You're listening to the Tars Sports Network. Welcome back. And Seth, before we get underway, we had a substitution during break.
Chevalier comes out of the game. Lauren Pasco replaces her in right field. So Lavalier's game 1 is done, going 0 for 2 with, you guessed it, 2 strikeouts.
Just like what seems like everybody else. As we get one fouled back right over our heads again. The count evens up at 1-1.
If you've never called games or had never been here before, the boom of the softball hitting either the ground or the roof can scare you.
Well, the ball's not soft. You know, it's rock hard. I don't get why they call it softball. Because 1, the ball's not soft, and 2, this is not a soft sport. This is a very tough sport. Pitchers sometimes pitching back-to-back days. I mean, I certainly couldn't do it. Called strike 3.
What a nasty pitch right there from Dooley, able to sit down Raven Bryant right there, unreal.
Sarah Harrison gets her second crack at things. Got called out last time for pulling the Ichiro Suzuki, trying to take a hack outside the box. And she tries to do it again there.
The batting gloveless Sarah Harrison trying to break a little rules and not get caught.
As with the no gloves, reminds me of Will Myers of the Padres. Takes ball one outside.
It's a chess match here, Chris. It's now a chess match.
That's ball two.
You notice too, those cheers in that Tars dugout has not stopped all game. Really pulling for Harrison to get some revenge.
Well, that ball must have caught just the outside of the black edge of the plate. Harrison finds herself in a 2-2 count once again. Infield all over her right now. Popped up to whirl. And Ashley's sister puts that one away. Jordan Davis will come up with 2 outs in the inning. And a lot of people call her the rally starter for the Tars. One of their best hitters. Last time up I called her their best hitter. Guess what she's batting on the season? An even 500.
500 on the year, and she really likes to make those trainers really work. She likes to slide and make them do a little bit more laundry than they have to.
But a great play by Klauberg to snub that bunt attempt. And the Tars go quickly 1-2-3. Tampa looking to tie the game in the top of the 6th inning. This is the Tars Sports Network. Rollins Athletics would like to thank its premier sponsor, Advent Health, for its support of Rollins Athletics. Advent Health is committed to caring for your whole person health, mind, body, and spirit. Feel your best, play your best, feel whole. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. And I don't know if there's anything more healthy than Summer's strikeout pitch right now. Seth, as she has over 10 on the game. It's been a pitching matchup as the Tars lead 1-0 here in the top of the 6th inning. And I don't see any rain in sight, so this one won't end controversially.
You know, it almost feels like the fans got a little bit more of a discount here. They would have paid more for this pitching matchup.
Did it cost you anything to get in here, Seth?
Experience.
As we get 1, 2, 3 in the lineup coming up. Jansen, 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. The top 3 in their lineup have yet to make any noise. And as soon as I say that, Jansen finds herself a knock into left field. First time anyone in the top of the lineup has made contact with the baseball. Oh, actually softball, excuse me.
Now the infield is going to be played in with a potential
bunt attempt by Klauberg.
It makes sense. Move that runner over. You're down by 1. Get that runner into scoring position.
Summers got out of a jam last inning. Finds herself with the lead hitter on base. That one's popped backwards. It'll hit the net. No play by Gearing. 0-1.
Lots of different options. You get that runner on. You get Jansen, who's that spark plug. Summers, maybe a little fatigued here.
Klauberg shows bunt, pulls it back, but then puts it down. Good play by Contafio to get at least one away.
She beautifully did her job there, did exactly what the head coach ordered. She'll go back to the dugout, get some high fives, and get a little tap on the helmet.
Corinne Miner comes up. Klauberg was batting .324 on the season coming in. Klauberg also batting, Miner batting .231 on the season with a runner in scoring position. No at-bat bigger than this one in the conference game that could potentially tie the game with a single here. Summers falls behind the count. That seems to be a trend happening late in this game. Swings and misses. No doubting the speed on that one. She may have been losing the zone, but her speed is still there.
Her speed's still there, but also, too, I mean, the reason why she's in here is because she was able to go lightning quick with these hitters that she's faced.
The 5'7" junior comes up empty on that swing. Corinne Miner playing center field. Had a nice play in the fourth inning. Little jumping catch. And she comes up empty here. Her third strikeout of the game. After the lead batter gets on, Summers comes back with 2 outs. And Sam Worrell, how ironic is this? Or coincidental, I should say. How coincidental is this? That Sam Worrell is up to bat as her sister plays first base for the Tars. And a chance to tie the game.
We'll see if she can be the Tar killer.
She would love nothing more than to tie this game or even take the lead against her sister's club. She has 2 home runs on the season, the most for any Spartan.
You notice, too, Summers, when going innings 1 through 4, maybe even 1 through 5, the last half inning, she was breezing through these hitters, and then they started to solve her even more, so then she took some time. It wasn't 10 seconds, let me throw another pitch. It was, let me hold the ball a little bit more, see how I can really try and pick these heads.
The 1-1 is high. The Worrell sisters from Oviedo, Florida. A chance to do damage against her younger sister's team here in conference play of game 1 of the doubleheader. Fly ball hit into left field. Second base, shortstop Bryant over to make the play. Summers escapes the jam on 1 hit, no runs, 1 runner left on base. The Tars look to add to their lead, which potentially could be their last chance in the bottom of the 6th inning. Welcome back to Rollins Softball Stadium at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. And from one Worrell sister to another, Ashley gets her chance to do some damage against her sister's team. She takes a ball inside.
How great would it be? The battle between the 2 sisters. Ashley hits a home run, looks at the third base dugout. Smiles right at her sister.
Worrell so far 1 for 2 in the first inning, flew out to center field in the second inning. In the third inning, got a double.
Seems like every offensive play has been the highlight reel because there's been so many limited plays.
As she slaps one into left field, that'll get down. Tough handle by Reyes, and Worrell will scamper on to second base. Should go as a single and an error.
They're going to rule that a double, and rightfully so. Just not really an error. Just it's a nicely played hit ball. It's a pitch runner coming in now.
Kara Wagstaff will come in and run for Ashley Worrell, her second double of the game.
And coming to the plate for Rollins, number 24, Lindsey Gehring.
And so far, the difference maker in today's ball game, catcher Lindsey Gehring, who had an RBI double in their first at bat in the first inning on an 0-1 fastball. As she finds herself again with a runner on second base. Takes the ball outside. This is her third at bat and her third time with a runner on second.
Double party between Worrell and Gehring.
Takes strike one. They have three between the two of them. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to put them back to back. All three doubles coming in separate innings. Takes strike two. Runner got far off second base. Luckily, no pickoff attempt. The 1-2 to Gehring. Liner at third base. Worrell gobbles it up. One away. So Ashley Worrell doubles.
Now back to the Tars, number 25.
And the other Worrell sister says, not so fast. I can make some plays too at the hot corner. Grace Street, 0 for 2 today, but hit a home run yesterday.
Just done it all, the pitcher, and warmed up potentially to come in for Summers, but she was able to just make sure that Summers could get through the half inning, and she did.
Of Street's 4 hits, 2 of them are for extra bases. As she finds herself in the driver's seat of this 3-0 count. Runner on second base, a chance to double their lead. Taking all the way, ball, strike one.
No action yet in that Tampa pen.
Fouls one over to the right side. I don't think any cars were hit.
Absolutely love when you roll into the
Dooley. Hard ground ball through the left side. Scampers away from Balmer, and it'll be an infield single for Grace Street. Runner does not advance. However, it is first and second for Talia Cantafio.
Nice job right there by Balmer, able to just, after that ball did get past Worrell, to just dive and potentially make that stop. She made the stop and just stabbed the softball with her glove to make sure that Wagstaff was going to stay in scoring position and not go an extra 25 feet.
Cantafio drives one to left field. Reyes camps under it. Wagstaff doesn't go anywhere. 2 away. 1 pitch, 1 out there.
And for the Tampa to keep this a 1-run game.
Now back to the Tars.
Abby Saxton.
Abby Saxton.
The 5'5" senior from Florida has a chance to do some damage. First and second. 2 away, that ball gets away. Runners will advance. Runners advance 60 feet on the pass ball. Abby Sexton, now a single could be 2 runs for the Tars. And we'll get a timeout. Stoppage of play. What do you think this is about, Seth?
Potentially pitch runner, and indeed we will have that.
A pinch runner indeed, Sarah Harrison. Oh, excuse me, number 25.
Tars, number 21, Emily Zentek.
Emily Sintek will do the running duties now for Street. Sexton drives one to right field, excuse me. And Pasco, who came in for a defensive and retires the side. No runs on 2 hits, 2 runners left on base. Dooley able to escape the jam. Last chance for the Tampa Spartans coming up.
For the Tars in the 6th.
Abby Summers doing her best Jacob deGrom impression here in the top of the 7th inning, allowing no runs. That ERA that came in at .96 is looking even better now.
Slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
The last 2 innings, she's had some base runners, unlike the first 5 innings. A total of 1 base runner through the first 5, a total of 4 in the last 2 innings. She looks to shut down this Spartan offense. Pasco, who came in for a defensive substitution, remains in the game as she gets her first at-bat here in the 7th inning.
Leading off the inning for the Spartans, number 13, Leslie Chevalier.
As I take that back.
Chevalier.
Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Chevalier coming back in to the game as Pasco did duties for her in the field, giving her a little bit of rest and trying to bring some power in with the bat with the 13 strikeouts for Summers.
Take strike 2.
Sometimes that's what you need. Make sure that everything is just all set, ready to go. Maybe it helps with her mind a little bit. Calms her mindset down.
Summers in the driver's seat. Gets called, strike 3. 1 away here in the top of the 7th.
That's the 3rd time that Chevalier has been sent down here. And man, the K's are just flying today. It's too bad they don't have like a giveaway.
Well, that makes 14 on the day. 14 Ks already. We have a chance for 2 more for Summers, who struck out 15 last time out. The record for a tar in a 7-inning game is 17. So unfortunately, she will not be able to get there today. 1-1 on Phillips.
I mean, nevertheless, the record breaking, that's one thing, but a very impressive line for Summers.
There have been 4 batters for the Spartans that have yet to make contact with the ball. That one comes right over our heads. Phillips finds herself in a familiar 1-2 hole. As Abby Summers transferred from Florida International. That one's driven to left field. Chasing over, great diving play by Ernst to make it 2 away.
You can see the reaction from Summers, jumping up and down on the circle. What an absolute outstanding play, 2 away, and safe to say there, Chris, that the transfer has helped out for the Tars.
Summers 1 out away from another complete game shutout.
54, Maddie Farrell.
Her parents, David and Diana, must be proud, with siblings Jack and Emily hopefully tuning in as well. Take strike 1.
Farrell was one of the lucky winners of this Spartans lineup. Won the lottery per se, getting on base via the walk back in the 5th.
Summers throws a ball there. The count evens up 1-1. Maddie Farrell, the catcher. So far, 1 for 2. She fouls one back as Summers gets another chance at another strikeout. Already 14 in this game.
One strikeout away from another complete game and one strike away from the Tars, improving to 11-2 on the season, 6-2 in the conference as well.
And Summers, the honor student. Does she go? She does not. I think the crowd wanted that one.
You could tell that they were on the edge of their lawn chairs here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, fouled back. Abby Summers has been the story of the game for the Tars. Her battery mate Gehring getting the only RBI so far in this game. And that's all Summers has needed, as that one's popped up and retired by Gehring. Summers, 7 innings, 14 strikeouts, allowing only 2 hits in this beautiful shutout.
Absolutely impressive performance from Abby Summers, keeping her pitch count had low, but had some trouble in the 5th inning via the walk, the hit by a pitch, the single by Emily Jansen. Thought that Tampa Bay had a chance, but needless to say here, Chris, it was a 1-run ball game at 1-0, but it was neck and neck down to the final strike and the final out, with Tampa 1 hit away from making this a 1-1 tie. We'll see if Rollins can keep their momentum going into game 2, but Abby Summers getting the win, Kayla Dooley getting the loss, and Dooley going to 8-3 on the season. Meanwhile, Abby Summers an impressive 5 and a goose egg of 0.
That is impressive. The last time she started out this hot, it was in 2017 at Florida International, going 11-0 on the season with a 2.20 ERA. And she's well on her way to improve on that stat. And if you're just joining us, how did we get to this 1-0 game? In the first inning, the Tars, Jordan Davis got us started with a single, stole second, and Gehring drove her in. The Tars wouldn't score any more runs, but they would tally up 6 hits on the day. Only 8 hits total for both ball clubs. Abby Summers getting the 7-inning shutout once again. As we get a little wave from Abby Sexton, we'll wave to you virtually as the Tars versus the Spartans. Game 2 will be coming up in about 30 minutes.
From the Princeton Review to Condé Nast Traveler, regularly ranks Rollins as one of America's most beautiful college campuses. Zoom in, though. Take, for example, our conference-style learning environment. Consider the dozens of high-end laboratories and collaborative workshops. Drop in on the professional performance venues where our student artists hone their crafts. Stroll by the courts and playing fields where our student athletes develop lifelong leadership skills. Take a closer look at Rollins, and you'll realize our beauty. From the Princeton Review to Condé Nast Traveler, regularly ranks Rollins as one of America's most beautiful college campuses. Zoom in, though. Take, for example, our conference-style learning environment. Consider the dozens of high-end laboratories and collaborative workshops. Drop in on the professional performance venues where our student artists hone their crafts. Stroll by the courts and playing fields where our student athletes develop lifelong leadership skills. Take a closer look at Rollins, and you'll realize our beauty.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
And number 2, Sarah Harrison.
Good afternoon and welcome to Martin Luther King Jr. Park as the Rollins Tars take on the Tampa Spartans. I'm Seth Cooper, joined along with Chris Burns. And Chris, it's game number 2 of the conference doubleheader, and Rollins looks to build off their momentum from game 1 after a short hour and 20-minute game time of the first game.
I mean, it was just a pitching performance for the books. I'm not even joking. Both pitchers pitched phenomenally. Only 8 total hits in the game, 1 total run, 14 strikeouts for Summers.
Really the only thing for the Tars differently is the catcher of Taylor Holt. She comes in to replace Lindsey Gehring behind the plate, and the pitcher in the circle is Grace Street, the senior, doing pitching duties for Michelle Frew's Tars in game number 2. And the second pitch of game number 2, roped in for a single. Emily Jansen gets on base, and certainly the script early on has been flipped for the Spartans.
I mean, right from the get-go, starting off with a single right there for Jansen, ties how many? Well, they're only 1 hit short of how many they had last game.
Leslie Cantor, the head coach of the Spartans, really rolling with her same starting 9. Jansen at first base, Clawberg at second base, Miner at third. Sam Worrell is behind the plate. She is doing pitching duties.
We saw that pickoff attempt over at first base actually hit the runner, and it was actually pretty close.
Chevalier in center, Phillips in right, Farrell behind the plate, with Worrell doing pitching duties, as we mentioned, for the Spartans. As that one is popped up in the air, Davis camps under it for the first out of game number 2. And rounding out the lineup, Farrell catching, Dooley doing hitting duties, and Reyes, the left fielder.
Grace Street is actually on the mound for the Tars.
And Grace Street, of course, 12 innings, 4 hits given up, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. So certainly a bit different look than Abby Summers, but still riding a 0.00 ERA. As Caroline Miner digging in here, she went 0 for 3 with all 3 strikeouts in game number 1. 1 on, 1 out, just getting underway. 2:52 your time. 13 minutes before game 2 was actually scheduled to be on hand.
And how awesome is this? The fact that now, after Tars, Ashley Worrell got to pitch yesterday against her sister, Sam Worrell will pitch against her today.
You have to think that the head coaches did a little meeting of the minds, discussed potentially doing that. The batting gloveless of Caroline Miner follows one back behind Taylor Holt, and it'll be a 1-1 count.
The Tars looking to get this game started off right, just like last game, get an easy inning pitching-wise, and go out and strike first in the bottom of this inning.
A little bit degrees cooler as well. That one popped up in the air. Abby Sexton gets under it, and 2 are away.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I was deked as the center field scoreboard already had 2 outs out there, so I thought for sure that was the 3rd out.
Bad for Tampa.
The scoreboard operator here, maybe playing a little magic tricks. Sam Worrell digging in here. She went 0 for 3. Popped out to Cantafio back in the first inning of game number 1, and then had 2 flyouts to the left fielder of Bree Ernst. That one lofted, foul ball, just barely. Just getting past Cantafio on the right side. Would have likely scored. Jansen for Tampa's first run of the ball game.
And I love this matchup. Sam Worrell, I mean, I can't stress enough, the Worrell sisters going at it. A chance to do some damage early.
Certainly a storyboard for sure, as that one lofted foul. Pass of Ernst, and it's the 1-2 count, 2 out. Street looking to make quick work, and her 8th pitch on coming to Sam Worrell. Of course, most of the Tars team knows the Worrell sisters.
And if you missed out,
it's a drop third strike. Holt will throw on to Worrell, the other sister, that being Ashley Worrell, and the top half of the first inning is completed. 1 hit, no runs given up, no errors. Grace Street, 8 pitches, gets 3 outs, as it will be Davis, Ashley Worrell, and Lindsey Gehring, the 3 hitters for the Rollins Tars. Due up in the bottom half of the first here on the Tars Sports Network.
No errors and 1 runner left on base.
Sam Worrell getting ready to face the Tars hitters for the first time in game number 2. Of course, she was manning the third base bag in game number 1. Likely going to use her fast pitch, her changeup, and her curveball, her 3 big main pitches. Jordan Davis steps in the bag on the left side. 1 for 3 in game number 1 with a single in the bottom of the first, about an hour ago from now.
she led off last game with a single, stole second base, and scored on the Gehring double in the first inning.
That's what we call productivity, as Worrell will throw the first pitch to Davis, and it's right down Broadway for a called strike. Keith Poyer doing balls and strikes for game 2 with Robert Hines in the field.
21 hits on the year for Davis, all singles, as she loves to bunt.
Bunt attempt down there, and that one goes foul. Quickly, the count moves to 0-2. Davis, of course, bunted on an 0-2 count and reached first base, but really minor. And also Jansen in and also out as well. The 0-2 on coming to Davis is right into the glove of Clawberg, and just underhand thrown it to Jansen for the first out.
Ashley Worrell got a double last game. 2 doubles, in fact. Tars couldn't bring her home, but that didn't matter, as we mentioned, they won 1-0.
Also, Kara Wag staffed as well. Coming in for her on the base pass back in the bottom half of the 6th. That Tars bench has not stopped cheering all day, as that one swung on and missed. A nice pitch right there. Good breaking ball, good changeup from Sam Worrell. And it's an 0-2, 1 out with Lindsey Gehring on deck. Giving her knees a break, not doing catching duties in game number 2. That one lined right onto the third baseman of Caroline Miner and thrown on to Emily Jansen for 2 outs. And Chris, the story of game number 2 has to be, can Rollins get to Worrell? Of course, they had game 1 and 2 where they knew where Dooley could throw, because they've seen him on Friday. They saw her game number 1 on Friday and then game number 2 on Saturday. So a new pitcher on the mound. Could be interesting to see what the Tars do with their mindset of these hitters. That one popped up in the air. Gearing as the shortstop of Balmer calling off Reyes. And the bottom half of the first is done, as unlike Street, it is Whirl making the Rollins hitters go down 1-2-3. We head to the top half of the second here on the Rollins Sports Network.
The lineup wrong, so it's gonna make me.
Rollins Athletics would like to thank its premier sponsor, Event Health, first support of Rollins Athletics. Event Health is committed to caring for your whole person health, mind, body, and spirit. Feel your best, play your best, and feel whole. Visit eventhealth.com to learn more. We head to the top half of the second. Both pitchers, Chris, 8 pitches for both pitchers of Whirl and Street. As we head to the top half of the second, of course, Tampa looking to get their first run of the day after being shut out in game number 1. As the first pitch, lined right at Davis's glove, has to pedal back a little bit. She puts on the training wheels, puts on the brakes, and 1 out is recorded.
Just quick outs, quick pitches, and quick outs in this game so far. Already 7 outs recorded, and we're not even 7 minutes into the game.
Bailey Phillips digs in now, and Phillips, one of those hitters who singled and got a lucky lottery hit off of Summers in game number 1, but then struck out in the 5th and flied out in the 7th to the left fielder of Bree Ernst.
I try to follow along as best I can here with a scoring sheet, and somehow in the second inning I'm already behind.
1-1 count with Maddie Farrell, the catcher, on deck. Street, a little bit more slower than Abby Summers is, but puts a lot more momentum and a lot more oomph into her windup.
Phillips came into the day hitting 156. 5 hits, no extra base hits for her so far on the season.
We'll see if she can get that batting average back to what it was entering today. And thought it was going to be a start, thought it was going to drop, but Davis was able to get a little breeze and get a little wind to the ball, and 2 quick outs are recorded, and she celebrates with somewhat of a cannon celebration with her glove out there in center field. Interesting, with 2 away, and now here comes Maddie Farrell now to the plate.
I must say, both teams seem really relaxed. Before the first game has started, Tampa Spartans, they were playing spike ball down the third base line. Do you know what spike ball is?
Yes.
I have never seen it before today, so I got to see a little bit of that. And then during the half game stretch, I would say, like after the first game, we had a couple tars thrown around the pigskin.
That's what you see that in baseball as well. It's you see a lot of pitchers and bullpen catchers do that, and it's just you have to stay loose. You got doubleheaders. You saw players eating in between games. You saw players getting loose and stretching.
I know I could have gone for a meal, that's for sure.
Count moves to 2-0, and the only thing we really did, Chris, we didn't run bases, we didn't swing a bat, we just used our voice.
Pretty much.
So really the only thing we need is water. On the 2-0 count to Maddie Farrell, the throw onto the shortstop of Bryant to Whirl. And the top half of the second is over with that ground out. We head to the bottom half of the second. Street, we saw her action on the mound. We'll see what she can do in the box. Catafio and Sexton, the 3 hitters. It is going to be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for the Tars in the bottom half of the second here on the Rollins Sports Network.
The Rollins College of Women Athletics would like to thank the following sponsors: the Gourmet Sausage Shack, Winter Park, Pro Team Sports, and Seminole Chiropractic.
Keep track of today's stats and follow the play-by-play action by visiting tarsstats.com. Wherever you are, follow on your computer, tablet, phone, or other mobile device at tarsstats.com. Just visit tarsstats.com to find today's action of list of events and when you're ready to view the latest game live stats for Rollins softball. Head to the bottom of the second, it's Grace Street walking out to AC/DC. You shook me all night long. Batting on the right side. Taya Contapio to follow along with Abby Sexton into the hole. The first pitch from Worrell is outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, and Chris Burns once again. Quick work here, and we're not even 10 minutes into this ball game.
Yeah, this is going insanely fast. Grace Street up right now. Talia Contapio to follow. Abby Sexton. Bree Ernst playing in left field. Raven Bryant playing short. Taylor Holt gets her first action of the day, playing catcher. And in right field is Sarah Harrison, who will not bat.
Of course, Coach Michelle Frew giving Goering her legs a rest after catching Friday and game 1 of Saturday. The 2-2 full count now is first time that Worrell will have to throw 5 pitches to a batter this afternoon. As into the windup, into the motion, that's up high for a ball, and Street looking to work herself on base via the walk. 2 stolen bases early on, a month and 2 days into the season for the Tar senior. And that one popped up in the air. First baseman of Jansen will take a look, but it's out past the Rollins dugout.
Street on the season has 4 strikeouts and 4 walks.
Worrell will get a new baseball and head back on to the rubber. The 3-2 is popped up in the air. It is Klauber calling off Jansen and Bulmer, but they collide, and it looks like it is Jansen who's able to make that play 1 away.
Now, when you're a first baseman, you call off the second baseman. Second baseman's got to give way. The first baseman's got the bigger glove, especially the way the ball was landing. She could see it a lot better than the second baseman could have.
Contafia digs in here. She didn't make any noise with the bat. Trying to make it a noisemaker now. Went 0 for 2, a strikeout in the first, and then a ground out to the catcher, and then thrown on to first base. Farrell and Jansen teamed up in game 1, and they're teaming again in game 2.
Contafio might have not made any noise with the bat, but she played a solid defense at third base. Only has 3 errors on the season, and she looks just steady over there.
She also made that diving attempt, but then the dugout got into the way, and also the uneven of the dirt as well. But nevertheless, a fantastic effort from number 7 of the Tars.
Contafio hails from Palm Beach Garden, Florida. As many of these women do come from this state.
As a 3-1, it's in there for a called strike.
We got back-to-back full counts here.
She knew it, didn't even step out of the box.
Abby Sexton on deck.
Of course, sun not a factor in game number 2 so far. Contafia pops this one up. In comes Bulmer for the second out of the inning for the Spartans. And Abby Sexton looks to potentially give the Tars their first hit of game number 2.
See, once again, here it is, Kesha.
And I'm
a Kesha guy.
You are really liking that Kesha today. I don't know what it is, Burnsy, but we went from AC/DC to Bon Jovi to Queen to now Kesha.
Hey, I like all music.
Sexton drives this one in the air. Infield fly rule, not called, but I don't know why the umpire did that one. That one in to the right fielder of Bailey Phillips. And the second inning is over. We head to the top of the third. It will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Spartans at the top of the third on the Rollins Sports Network.
Left on base.
Top of the third, here we go in game number 2, and
leading off for Tampa, number 9,
McKaylee Dooley now digging in. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters, as we mentioned before the break, due up for the Spartans. Dooley, along with Summers, the impressive pitching duel. That one lined into Abby Sexton's glove. She makes the diving attempt. She gets a little dirt on that jersey, and whoever does laundry gets a little irritated there, but nevertheless an outstanding play, and 1 pitch, 1 out.
Great reaction from Sexton. As soon as it came off the bat, she dove and made the play.
Now batting for Tampa, number 17, Lauren Reyes.
Now here comes Lauren Reyes, who played left field in game number 1, but her first at-bat of the day. And she looks at Street's fastball in there for a called strike. Street will go right back to that fastball, try to get the same call. But Keith Poirier says, not so fast. Even count it, 1 ball and 1 strike. Whirl in along with Cantafio. As that one is grounded right to Sexton, and she not only makes the first out, but she makes a second out as well. This time, a grounder right to her. She throws on to her first base partner, and 2 are away.
This game's starting out a lot differently than last game. We didn't see our first ground ball of last game until the 4th inning, and we've already seen a couple here.
And only 1 strikeout for Grace Street compared to Summers in her first
Well, not everybody.
3 innings of work, really. She had 6 strikeouts.
Not everybody can be Abby Summers.
And also the heat's died down as well. Doesn't necessarily feel like summer anymore.
I don't know. I think I'm still sweating, so I think it is summer.
2 balls and 1 strike. So we head back to the top of the order with Jansen now, who singled her last time up on the first pitch of the game. Lining one right to the center fielder of Jordan Davis.
All over that pitch, just a hair too quick. Last time up, she ripped a single into left field. Tried to do the same thing there, just a little bit ahead.
You have to think that Leslie Cantor did her pre-scouting on number 25 of the Tars and said, hey, this is where you need to hit. This one goes opposite field, but a nice diving catch by Sarah Harrison in right field. That'll end the top half of the third. 2 great diving plays in the 3rd inning, as it is Sexton who gets some dirt on her jersey and then some grass stains for Harrison. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score here on the Rollins Sports Network.
No runs on no hits, no errors, and no runs.
Bottom of the 3rd, Bree Ernst leads things off. 7, 8, and 9 hitters. We'll see a new hitter of this doubleheader, Taylor Holt.
Leading off the inning for the Tars, number 8, Bree Ernst.
Really still available off the bench. It's amazing the depth that Michelle Frew has on this Rollins team. And
it really is amazing. Ernst is playing her 2nd straight game, batting for the 2nd straight game as well. But that last play that ended the top of the 3rd inning was interesting. Sarah Harrison only plays the field, and she shows you why she only plays the field with that amazing diving play in right field.
Bree Ernst ahead of the count here. Looks to swing for the fences on that one, but just sees the ball go in to the glove of Farrell for an even 1-1 count. That one in there for a ball. 2-1 with Raven Bryant on deck. And And I know, Chris Burns, you'll be smiling. You get to hear That's So Raven themed song again.
Oh, of course. These walk-up songs are genius.
The 2-1 grounded right on to the shortstop of Palmer. Thrown on to Jansen. And the 6-3 play gets the first out of the bottom half of the third. 4 pitches, 1 out.
Now back to the Tars, number 22.
There it is.
Bryant.
Cue the music.
There it is. Cue the music, and here we go. The first pitch is in there for a called strike.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Raven's from Niceville, Florida. I've never even heard of that place. And I feel like if you're from Niceville, Florida, like, you have to be nice.
Must be nice.
Or maybe the area's really nice. Something has to be nice about that town. Maybe it's everything. The people, the town.
Who knows? It wasn't very nice yesterday. It was the weather. And the weather became a big factor for the Spartans. And, the story could be potentially, are they robbed of a potential win?
That was so true. Game ending in the top of the 6th inning. Bases loaded, nobody out, down by 3 was Tampa. And the umps decided to call the game. And that last foul ball flew right over us. And right before this game started, I moved my car out of the danger zone. And that almost landed where my car was parked for game 1.
Not sponsored by Kenny Loggins. That one popped up in the air and thought it might have the distance to reach the left fielder of Reyes. However, it is Minor getting there for the second out of the inning.
Niceville is just under 6 hours away from here.
Number 11,
Wow.
Taylor
That
Hart.
drive is not so nice.
So that's like upstate New York to Wells Beach, Maine.
That's what it is. Holt looking to get her first at bat today.
Holt, the junior, batting under 100 at 0.33.
It's early in the season. Plenty of ABs left.
It's going to be 167. I was looking at her extended hitting. 3 hits.
Only 6 ABs, 1 hit. But like I said, early in the season, she'll get a couple of at-bats today.
That's a 2-1 fouled back behind the screen, and you just kind of have to pause and admire the cheers coming from the dugout. Each player a different cheer here and there. The Tars are excited, and I would be too, with 11-2 record, 6-2 in the conference, looking to sweep Tampa for a 3 huge conference series sweep. That one in there for a base hit. And Holt is gonna go to first base, having trouble with the softball. Is Phillips out there in right? She quickly collects it and throws to her cutoff man of Clawberg, making sure that Holt doesn't go anywhere. But nicely done right there by Holt, able to get the bat on the ball.
Well, she just doubled her batting average now.
Doubled their batting average, and also it's the first hit of the Rollins second game.
Now batting .286 on the season. So just like that, we mentioned she was batting a little over 130.
Jordan Davis throws, but it goes into the box, and it's foul. As a late call right there from the home plate umpire of Keith Poirier. As it was Farrell making that play, but the play was immediately dead. But
Well, he had to wait because if the ball was to roll into fair territory without the catcher touching it, it would have been ruled a fair ball. So he had to wait to make the call after the catcher made contact with the ball.
bunt again by Davis. This one squared onto the right side, but goes foul right into the Spartans visiting dugout.
I mean, they love to put pressure on their defenses. It seems like every time Jordan Davis is up, she's laying one down. Even if it's with 2 strikes, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. It's a big thing for Michelle Frew to keep the defense on their toes. That one kind of a bunt there, but that one squibbed right on to the other sister of Sam Worrell, thrown on to first base of Jansen, and that is how the bottom of the third ends. We head to the top of the fourth. No score here on the Rollins Sports Network for game number 2. Seth Cooper joined alongside Chris Burns. Top of the fourth here at Martin Luther King Jr. Park, home of the Rollins Tars softball field. And quite the crowd on hand. A little bit more breezier than game number one, as the sun just coming out of being a factor in inning number 4. And now here comes Christina Clawberry now to the plate. Who flied out to Jordan Davis her last time up, and that one grounded right on and thrown on to Worrell for the first out of the top half of the fourth.
Now she got out too quick before I got to brag about her. I was going to say she's made the SSC honor roll for the last 2 years,
For the Spartans.
both the fall and the spring.
Now here's Miller as Sexton made that diving play. 2 highlight reel plays so far, the one by Sexton and the one by Sarah Harrison as well.
Corinne Miner received a medical red shirt as a sophomore after appearing in 2 games.
Red shirting is always tricky because if you know that you're going to be able to play that extra year, then you should take it. As that one flied out into Davis, right into the glove, and 2 outs are away, and there goes that cannon-like celebration again.
Now, we never got to see Miner pitch, but she threw a no-hitter as a freshman against Georgia Southwestern. It would have been interesting to see her in the circle.
A way to make your mark as a freshman. That one grounded right onto the shortstop of Bryant, thrown on the Worrell, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Grace Street. Her third 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom half of the fourth. No score here on the Rollins Sports Network.
Spartans in the fourth, no runs, so no hits.
At the bottom of the fourth, and before we got to the bottom of the fourth, Michelle Frew called all the captains together and said, we got to come up with a game plan here, as it is Ashley Worrell digging in, who grounded out to the third baseman Miner her last time up, and as it is the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for the Tars here, Chris, and
This is what I've been waiting for, okay? I actually, I'm not going to lie, I missed the first at bat trying to get my lineup together here, but sister versus sister. This is what it's all about. I hope the parents are, like you mentioned in the first game, one of them was wearing a Tars shirt and one of them was wearing a Spartans shirt, but if I was a parent, I'd say whoever wins the game, that's the shirt I'm going to wear.
Low for a ball, and speaking of shirts and uniforms, Rollins wearing their same unis as game number 1.
They're home whites.
They're home whites and bold. I know that the Tars baseball team wears their yellow jerseys on Sunday games, usually their third of a 3-game set.
Well, maybe they're saving theirs till a Sunday game, but not this week. No Sunday game tomorrow.
The 2 softball doubleheaders, and I wouldn't be opposed to Division II, especially with baseball going to those 7-game doubleheaders. I mean, you get both of them kind of out of the way and done with. I just would not mind it.
Here it comes down to one pitch, sister versus sister, 3-2 count.
who will win. And that one foul back, so Burnsy, you get your wish, another pitch. It's either going to be Ashley or Sam going victorious in this battle.
The first game, Ashley Worrell actually pitched against her sister Sam. Sam got a hit off of her, but Ashley then struck her out. So maybe she'll try to get her back here in this at-bat.
And that's in there for ball 4, and the Tars have their first base runner of the afternoon in game number 2 via the base on ball.
This is actually their second base runner because of the walk earlier, the single earlier by Taylor Holt.
Down at the end of the lineup is Holt, so a quick glance, and you didn't see it. That one lined in to left field for a base hit. First pitch, and out of the box goes the Lindsey Gehring sprinting to first base. Hands her batting gloves to her coach, Steve Frew, and gives a little clap before Grace Street has a chance to help her cause before returning to the hill.
All right, this is what pitchers are made of. First 2 runners get on base. Grace Street, who hit a home run yesterday against the Spartans, now have a chance to give the Tars the lead.
And with nobody out either, plenty of puzzle pieces that the Tars can put together.
They're going to want to get it out somehow. Contafio's batting .353 on deck.
Contafio looking to demolish these Spartans.
Yesterday, Jake Grongholt on the call. After Grace Street hits a home run, he says, "Amazing Grace."
Nicely choice of words there, Mr. Jake Turner. That one popped up in the air. Street
Infield fly was called there.
is out as it is Hubbard getting under it for 1 away.
For those of you who do not know what the infield fly rule is, if there is a runner on first base or more bases, but as long as there's a runner on first base and there's a fly ball in the infield, it's an automatic out. Therefore, the defense cannot try to double up the runner, and the runners can advance on their own recognizance. I can't even, is that how I pronounce the word? Did I say that word correctly?
I believe so, as now it is head coach Michelle Frew talking with home plate umpire Keith Poirier, and see what's...
Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter, which is kind of surprising. Contafio is one of their best hitters.
Pitching for the Tars, number 27, Amanda Guglietta.
You knew that she was going to come into the ballgame at some point. Amanda Guglietta, the junior who was very praised during the media day. She's a spark on this club and potentially could be a spark for her team here. Coming off the bench cold, but a new hitter for the Spartans to face.
I know it's early in the season, but Contafio's batting just under 400.
Early on in the season, early on in the month of March, a doubleheader. You got zeros on the scoreboard. Rollins looking for their first run. Certainly not what they were hoping for, but also to it takes away the lefty-righty matchup and now becomes a righty-righty matchup as well.
Guglietta on the year so far is batting under 200. So she'll have to come up big time here to give the Tars a couple runs here.
The 1-1. Lofted in the air. And infield fly rule caught by Balmer for 2 outs. So the Tars, after making some noise, getting the party streamers rolling, Chris, are halted. And now it's up to Abby Sexton. We'll see if her defensive play may get her on.
I'm just telling you right now, I got a feeling that, Kesha has lots of hits, and so will Sexton in this at-bat. That one finds the parking lot. So first 2 runners get on. Next 2 runners only hit fly balls in the infield. You got to do some damage. You got to get it out of the infield.
Completely opposite of the strikeout parade put on by Summers and Dooley.
If I left my car where I was parked in the first game, it would have hit it right there.
The 0-2 count on to Abby Sexton, the second baseman of the Tars, is foul.
That one steers clear of a car, but lots of people have worried looks on their faces as they overlook the parking lot.
A beautiful day here on this Saturday in Winter Park, Florida.
Sexton, 3 RBIs on the year.
And she went around for strike 3, a check swing, no appeal from Robert Hines in the field. We go to the top half of the 5th. The Tars and Spartans are scoreless here on the Rollins Sports Network. Chevalier now digging in to start the top half of the 5th, the center fielder. Who just moved over about 25 feet or so, playing right field in game number 1, and now, just mentioned moments ago, center field in game number 2. Street looking to find that rhythm like she did and keeping that rhythm in innings 2, 3, and 4 here, Chris. And
you know, after we graduate, Seth, we might have some competition with Lexi as she's going for sports management and she's aspiring to be a sports broadcaster. So who knows? You might be competing with Lexi for a job.
Very cool on that front. Always good to have a broadcaster that's played the game so far within. You take a look at a guy like Jason Winton, retired, was on the Monday Night Football broadcast, and then returning back into the field with the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, now we're doing the game on the Tars Network, but I have to cheer for Lexi to get a hit here, seeing if she wants to become a broadcaster.
And Abby Sexton says, no, thank you there, and one away as she just puts the glove as a basket weave for the first out.
Sexton has been busy over there. She made that amazing diving catch back in the 3rd inning against last game's pitcher, Dooley. And then she ended the inning with a ground out from Reyes. But, I mean, I think she's had like 4 or 5 chances over there.
Bailey Phillips, the right fielder, digging in now as Davis has been busy out there in center field as well, and she will make the second out of the top half of the 5th, like she did to Phillips back in the 2nd. Now here comes Maddie Farrell, and with all the strikeouts we've had, we've only had 2 on the day, 1 for Whirl and 1 for Street, even on that side at 1 apiece.
Even though there's 2 outs, so you can't go easy on Farrell. She actually was tied for 2nd in hits with her team last season.
I went in there for a ball, and of course 63 doubles last season for the Spartans, tied for 2nd in team history. Of course, if Rollins was able to complete the sweep against the Spartans, something, a disappointing outing for Tampa.
We can hear people rooting on for the Spartans.
As the 1-2 outside for a ball, just painted on the lines. Crowd didn't like it, and neither did the dugout, as well as Denise Rubio.
I think everyone just got excited watching Abby Summers strike everybody out last game. I don't really think that pitch was that close.
The 2-2 lofted foul.
And she got her hands inside that softball. and ripped it down the line.
A couple more inches, and that would have potentially been a double for 54.
I don't know about inches. You're going to need some feet there. I think it was well foul.
One of the highest numbers I've seen so far for Division II numbers, 54, and a baseball and softball number. Now the count at 3-2. The 10th pitch of the at-bat oncoming to Farrell with Denise Rubio, the first base coach for the Spartans today, giving some instruction. As that one popped up in the air, Whirl making the catch. And we will go to the bottom half of the fifth here, Chris. No score after almost 5 innings of work here on the Rollins Sports Network. Bottom of the fifth we go, as it is the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Ernst, Bryant, and Holt. The duo up for the Tars here, Chris, and so far through 4 innings of work for the Tars, lineup's been pretty stale compared to the last game. Of course, you did have the lackluster of hits and not as many, but you would think that the Tars would have had a hit by now.
Well, the Tars, they have 1 hit from Taylor Holt back in the 3rd inning. But they had 6 hits in the first game. They still only pushed across 1 run. So it'll be interesting to see how they'll be able to manufacture a run, especially with Ernst, Bryant, and Holt coming up.
We'll see if head coach Frew decides to call a meeting. And even though if you're able to get a victory against Tampa today, maybe a meeting to try and bolster some more runs, maybe some more offense, maybe change things up. I mean, a win is a win, and you can take it however you can get it, but...
Now, I don't want to sound foolish, but this game means more now that Tampa lost the first game. I mean, Tampa cannot get swept in conference.
Neck and neck really in the standings. 11-2 for Rollins.
Oh!
10-5 as that one lined. But able to reach first base is a diving effort by Clawberry.
While you were looking down at your paper, was a liner right back at Worrell. And 2 things came to mind. One, Abby Summers actually wears a mask, just in case something like that happens. Just got her glove up in time. And I wonder what her sister Ashley was thinking as that ball went right back at her sister's face.
I'm sure she would say something along the lines of Warrior. As Bryant now digging in, your favorite Tar player, Chris.
It's the walk-up music. I can't help it. As the wind starts to push all of our papers around. That one's fouled straight back. Seth, you're losing everything.
I'm not sure what it is here. It's haven't had a breeze really all day, and then all of a sudden.
Maybe that breeze will wake up some of these bats as this game's still scoreless through 4.5.
And you see there, it looked like Farrell wanted to throw down on the first base, but Jansen was playing so far off the bag.
Now, Raven Bryant led her high school team to district championships in 2016, 2017, and 2018.
You had a little toe pointing in game number 1. You have 5:05 from Michelle Frew. Advancing the runner, beautifully able to do the job is Bryant. And the Tars actually have their first runner in, their second runner in scoring position. The last one coming back just an inning ago.
Taylor Holt, who got the first hit of the game for the Tars, is now up. Remember, her average starts to climb at 286 right now.
That one lined, dropped in for a base hit, but not moving is Ernst out there at second base, and the Tars have a runner on first and second. Holt now 2 for 2.
I mean, that's a difficult ball to read. I mean, as you were broadcasting, you didn't know if it was going to fall or be caught. So just as difficult on the field as it is up here. I don't blame him for taking a chance, especially with Jordan Davis, the leading hitter in terms of batting average. Now has a chance with runners at first and second.
Jordan Davis, beautifully played bunt, able to play it on. Is the third baseman of Minor to throw on to Jansen. A great bunt, advancing runners on to second to third, but also great defensive play by Minor to throw on to first base.
I totally agree. That's the second well-handled bunt this inning for them, this defense.
A little small ball might be the trick to the Rollins to getting their second victory of the day, as now Ashley Worrell facing her sister.
And the biggest opportunity, as the ball gets away, runner at second is just dancing out there.
Wow, well, two things come to mind. As a player there, I could see maybe with the speed of Farrell able to get that ball, but then especially there, you should have been able, if you were halfway at the chalk, you should just run, but nevertheless, a lucky break for the Spartans.
Now, I'm glad she's taking a timeout right here. One, the wild pitch, and then the catcher not being able to throw the ball back.
Cool it down.
Yeah, just relax everybody. And this is the biggest at bat, and arguably to say of the series between the two sisters. I mean, there's runners in scoring position, Ashley Worrell versus Sam Worrell, and we're about to see it go down. One ball, no strikes against arguably one of the Tars' best power hitters.
As this also could be the biggest at-bat of the series here, but also, too, you take a look, it could be, it could not be. We could have another similar situation like this headed into the bottom of the 7th for a walk-off situation.
Gehring on deck, their best power hitter, 5 home runs and 13 RBIs, which leads the Tars, but in second place in both of those categories is Ashley Worrell with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs.
And it looks like they may put on the...
Now I wonder what the sister's thinking right now. She's like, I know this batter. I know that she does damage.
I'm sure that might have been a sister situation or a sister shot here.
But this is surprising. Loading, almost every single ball almost got away from the catcher there. But loading the bases for Lindsey Gehring. Lindsey Gehring is batting just under 400, 5 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
They obviously want to get the force out at any base to escape damage of the inning. 2 walks for Worrell on the day as a single for Gehring last time up.
That makes 5 pitches in a row that have not been very good throws or catches by the catcher. The ball got away from him the first throw. That one nearly getting away in the dirt.
Jansen in, rest of the outfield and the infield playing deep as one goes foul.
Ernst doing a little dance down at the third base line. I mean, they're only 60 feet away, so it comes a lot quicker than if you were on a baseball field. Ernst on third. Worrell on first, and Holt on second.
Bases loaded for Lindsey Gehring on the 1-1 2-out. Here's the pitch, And that one is going to be a base hit. Getting one past the shortstop. The throw at the plate will not be in time. And Rollins has taken a 2-0 lead off the 2-run RBI single from Lindsey Gehring. And now here comes Grace Street to the plate to help her cause even more.
Ballmer made a great diving play to keep the ball in the infield, but it still wasn't able to keep the runner from scoring from second. I still question the intentional walk. Gehring has the most home runs, second best average, and most RBIs. It's like walking the bases loaded to get to Barry Bonds. That makes no sense to me. And she made him pay with that single.
Now Grace Street looking to move the runner on at third base to home.
Runners now move at the corners. Holt scores along with Ernst.
0-1 Grace checks her swing.
And I mean, this isn't over.
She went around 0-2.
Street, the pitcher, could do some damage as well.
0 for 2. Flied out to the first baseman and then flew out to the second baseman as Street lines one into center field, gets down for a base hit. Oncoming to score is Gehring, going first to third. World scores, going first to third is Gehring, and Street has an RBI double and increases the Tars' lead to 3-0.
You have to love when a pitcher helps out her own cause. 3 runs now after the intentional walk to Whirl. They'll change the pitcher here, but I still question the call. Ashley Whirl, not that she has been struggling, but she had 2 doubles in the first game. Today she hasn't been able to make contact, but Lindsey Gehring won the game in game 1 with the only RBI in game 1, and she gets the first 2 RBIs here. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the intentional walk.
Sam Worrell and Caroline Miner will switch spots in the field, but not on the lineup card.
Well, Miner, like I mentioned in her last at bat, she threw a no-hitter her freshman year. And the Tars now have a 3-0 lead. Cantafio, one of their best hitters, didn't get to bat last time. She got pinched hit for Guglietta. But now she'll get a chance to hit with 2 runners in scoring position and a chance to bust this one open.
And the reason why maybe Guglietta was hit, we'll have to talk to Michelle Frew either after the game or the next. And Rollins is home, but potentially it could be a clutch hitter situation. Hit the grand slam last year. Talked about it at the media day. So good to have clutch hitters all around, and just experiment with your lineup. You know, you've already taken 2 games of the series to Tampa, so you're going to win this series regardless.
Well, Miner has to get out of trouble and get out of trouble fast. They have only been able to score 1 run in what now is almost 20 innings against the Tars. So if they have any hopes of coming back today, they're going to have to limit the bleeding to 3 runs.
Limit the bleeding to 3 runs is correct on that, with Abby Sexton on deck. The 1-1 count, 2 out to Talia Cantafio, and it's in there for a ball, 2-1.
Talia Cantafio is one of the Tars' best hitters in terms of average. Like I mentioned, she's just under 400 coming into today.
So that one popped up in the air, but rolls into the Rollins bullpen as Cantafio gets a break.
I love that even on foul balls that are obviously clearly foul, all the runners run.
Effort. It's effort. And you take a look even at the first and second baseman between Jansen and Clawberry. They ran over for that ball. It's something you like to see. That one just right into the Rollins dugout, and we will have the 6th pitch of the at-bat on coming to Cantafio.
I have to wonder, maybe if Manny Machado hustled, he would have got a bigger deal. Hustled like some of these women here for the Tars.
The 2-2 up high for a ball, almost clips Cantafio, and it will be 3-2 payoff pitch coming. Potentially could load the bases for Abby Sexton, who's 0 for 2 tonight, looking for some redemption. The 3-2 lined right at the new third baseman of Sam Worrell, so she helps out her replaced pitcher of Carolina Minor, but not before Chris Rollins is able to scratch 3 runs off a 2 RBI single and an RBI double. The single coming from Garrett and the double coming from the pitcher of Grace Street. We head to the top half of the 6th. Rollins leads it 3-0 on the Rollins Sports Network. We head back to the top half of the 6th year. Rollins, though, enters the field with a 3-0 lead. And before that, you take a look at Taylor Holt asking for Keith Poyer's home plate brush to brush off home plate. Something you don't really see often from a catcher to do that, him or herself.
Well, maybe she was just foreshadowing what the Tars are going to do to the Spartans and just sweep them right away.
That one grounded right on to the shortstop. Thrown on to first base. Brian and Worrell team up to get the first out of the top half of the 6th.
I mean, you have to wonder if it's in the Spartans' head that game 1, they were down by 3, 0 outs, bases loaded in the 6th inning. I mean, their coach wasn't happy about it. She didn't want any, no one from that dugout really wanted to talk to us really before the game started. They were all unhappy about the call. Do you think that's affecting them all the way here in day 2?
I mean, as baseball fans, we know that, especially in the MLB, 162 games, it's a long season. You got to let stuff go. But, I mean, I'm sure if Rollins did get the victory, I'm sure back on that bus ride home that there are going to be grapes and complaints. It's a hustle there from Holt and Worrell, but it skips away and into the parking lot.
Now, obviously this is a good game for Rollins. Besides the action on the field, my second favorite thing about every game I go to is the fans' reaction whenever a fly ball goes to the parking lot.
I mean, even seeing it on TV, I'm sure, you watching Red Sox games, a comebacker right behind home plate, fans jumping.
Oh, well, this is even better because Nets can't protect their cars. So
that's right.
You have to be very wary where you park.
That's why there's that one sign that says Martin Luther King Jr. Park and Rollins College is not responsible for any damage due to softballs or baseballs hit here at the park. Should do that as a PSA.
Street's kind of falling behind here. 3-1. Needs a little shutdown inning here after her team scores her 3 runs. And it wasn't only just her team. She was also part of that rally, driving in that last run.
Helping her own cause. We said it in game 1. We said it now in game 2. It finally happened, coming from number 25.
That one ricochets off the roof all the way almost right back to the pitcher.
It'll be Lauren Reyes to follow for the Spartans. On the 3-2. Popped up in the air. Shading over to her right from left is Bree Ernst, and 2 are away.
Now back for the Spartans, the top of the order, number 19.
Jensen will come up, and she got a single earlier today, but she lined out her last at bat into right field. Harrison made a diving play that carried her over the foul line.
As it's going to be the first pitch that Jansen sees. It's into Davis's glove. As the outfield been very active in game number 2, we go to the bottom half of the 6th. The Tars lead it 3-0 here on the Rollins Sports Network. Seth Cooper joined alongside Chris Burns. Bottom of the 6th we go, and man, it's a 3-0 ball game for game number 2, and Abby Sexton digging things in, the second baseman. And Rollins looking to improve to 12-2 on the season, 7-2 in conference play. And their 14th game played this year.
Minor now on the mound, now in the circle for the Spartans, and the whip she has on her arm, her fastball seems...
As that one is lined right onto the third baseman of Royale. She throws on to Jansen for the first out of the inning. A nice job right there, the nice diving effort. Takes away the base hit. And if anything, the Spartans need anything to get a small plug.
Papers are continuing to fly. But like I was talking about, Minor in the circle, her fastball seems like the fastest pitch I've seen all day. And that includes Summers.
Pitching,
look out.
Kind of a factor in game number 2 is it is going to be Sexton who gets plunked here. And now here comes... Bree Ernst gets clunked, and now here comes Raven Bryant.
Now, I have to say, if Raven Bryant doesn't get a hit here, I can no longer talk about her theme song, her walk-up song, or those That's So Ravens theme song, because every time I talk about someone's theme song, whether it's Sexton and now Bryant, it's bad juju.
Taylor Holt on deck, 2 for 2. Today the bright spot, and winning as a catcher bunt attempt, thrown down by Raven Bryant. The throw on is in time, but she does her job, advances the runner of Ernst into scoring position. So a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Now I don't want to say that everything's going to happen again, but this is exactly what happened last inning. Ernst got on with a single, Bryant moved her over with a sacrifice, Holt followed it up with a single. So let's see what happens. Holt's 2 for 2.
As that one's in there for a called strike. Walking out to Low Wayne's uproar. Had some J. Cole earlier in the game. As that one popped up in the air. And that one into the sun, but able to collect it is Reyes for the third out. We go to the top half of the 7th in game number 2. The Tars leading it 3-0. We'll see if Street comes back out to close the top half of the 7th. And indeed she will. Rollins leads Tampa 3-0. Last chance for Tampa.
It's winning time.
Top of the 7th, Tampa down to their last 3 outs potentially and down by 3. Grace Street gets the nod from head coach Michelle Frew, and she looks to finish out this ball game here with the Tars.
And once again, Holt sweeping home plate.
Must be her own thing. Must be a superstition. I know that we talked about that during the pregame and during both games off broadcast. Christina Clawberry digs in and looks at that first pitch. It's a called strike.
Now, they're only 3 runs behind. That's not that far.
Well, they were 3 runs down behind on Friday and got the game called with the bases loaded and nobody out. So potentially a little deja vu for Tampa.
I don't see any rain clouds in the sky. This one won't be called. So if they could set themselves up with what they did on Friday, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
They cannot pull that excuse not even 24 hours later. As Clawberry, one of the few Tampa hitters getting ahead of the counts.
Yeah, Clawberg 0 for 2 so far on the day.
And that one lined right at Bree Ernst for the first out of the top half of the 7th. And the Spartans are down to their final 2 outs.
Talk about domination. This rotation that the Tars have all season long has just been phenomenal.
It has been phenomenal, and Street gets her innings pitched up a little bit, potentially only allowing 5 hits on the season, 8 strikeouts.
I mean, it's the 7th inning, and she's still firing darts in there. Minor was so far behind on that pitch.
0-1 the count, 1 out. That one is outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. It would be Sam Orwell to follow. And then Lexi Valier if we get there.
Last year, Grace Street worked her way all the way up to the Tars' top pitching spot, seeing the circle a total of 34 times.
That one popped up in the air. Harrison is going to let that one fall in front of her. And that is the second hit given up by Grace Street so far this afternoon.
One thing I think that Grace Street will work on throughout the season, last year she finished 3rd in strikeouts in the conference. Today we haven't seen many missed bats, but still quality outs.
That one grounded foul.
It'll be interesting to see if Sam Morrell can get her team back in this after giving up 3 runs in the 5th inning. Savalier on deck.
Double play ball would end the ball game. That one popped up in the air. Ernst on the shift, makes the second out, and 2 outs are recorded, and Tampa's down to their final out of the series.
Now, how about that? You have to stand in fair territory while the pitch is being delivered, but Ernst was basically on the line, basically knowing that it was going to go foul to get that fly ball.
It's called maybe a little pre-scouting, a little film on the tape. Cannot complain. Actually, Chevalier now digging in here, and Chevalier 0 for 2 today. Also, she went 0 for 3 as well with 3 strikeouts. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base. Spartans down by 3. Rollins ahead by 3. That one in the air. Davis camps under it. And the Rollins Tars sweep the Tampa Spartans in conference play. A double-header sweep. Final 1-0 in game 1, 3-0 in game 2, as Rollins now improves to 9-4 in their last 13 meetings against the Spartans and Chris. A win for Grace Street. Pitching was stellar, a premium performance from number 00 and number 25.
I mean, you can't ask for anything more. Guess how many runs they gave up? 0. I mean, you can't do anything better than that. And we've touched upon it in the first game. They're inching their way back to a 500 record against this team all time.
500 record all time as the Tars improve to 12-2, 7-2 in conference play. Tampa and falls to 10-6 on the year, 4-5, a losing record in conference play. Your winning pitcher, Grace Street. Your losing pitcher is Sam Worrell. Here on the Rollins Sports Network, the Tars sweep the doubleheader As we mentioned, 1-0 in game 1, 3-0 in game 2. The Tars pumped up alongside the right field line for Chris Burns. I'm Seth Cooper. Thanks for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon on the Rollins Sports Network.